Hey Javon, aka Bubbles. Happy holidays for DJ Mario TV. Mwah.
This is Mickey Sunshine, and you're watching DJ Mario TV. Tune in for the next big thing.
Of love that operates here in the Harlem Children's Zone. Please join me in welcoming our founder and president, my friend and mentor, Mr. Jeffrey.
Well, good morning, everybody. First of all, let me say to all of our parents, isn't this a great day? This is the day we've all been waiting for, and I'm here to really introduce our principal speaker. But I have to say something to the class of 2019. First of all, I want to say to those two valedictorians, y'all are deep. Beautiful, inspirational speeches, and so thank you. But this is the other thing I want to say. Some of you were like me. I was not at the top of my class when I graduated. I had people, because of where I grew up in the Bronx, who decided they could tell my future and my story. He's a nice guy, but you know, I don't think he's going to make it. I have been faced with teachers, some administrators, who thought, in the end, nice guy, but I think this is as far as he's going. I was determined that nobody else could tell my future, and nobody else could tell my story. I'm going to tell my own story. I'm going to predict my own future. So, you know what happens now when I go show up at my high school? They all like, yeah, I helped Jeff, man. I'm the one that made. I'm sitting there saying, yeah, you couldn't tell my story. You can't tell my future. I don't care what you've done up to this point in your life. Starting tomorrow, you get to tell your own future and tell your own story and make sure that everybody understands that they haven't seen the heights of where you're going to go. You're just starting. And I can't wait for you all to show up 4 years from now with your degree saying, I'm ready to go out here and shake up the world. That's what's going to happen. Now, I would love to tell you that's my last lecture. You all will hear from me, but you know it's not true. I've got a few more lectures over the years coming, so let's just make sure we're ready. But I'm here because when Miss Ann and Dr. Petit came and said that we want to make this graduation special. They said, who is the most inspirational person that you know? And there's only one person who came to mind that I wanted to speak to you this morning. You know, it's interesting when you get ready to introduce somebody, you know people, right? Like I know PHarrell, right? It's like one of those things you can drop that in a conversation every now and then, right? Yo, my man PHarrell, yeah? But I didn't really know him, right? People sometimes, you see the surface, but you don't see what's underneath or what's really there. So while I was looking for this introduction, I was saying to myself, wow, there's a lot about PHarrell I didn't know. Let me do a more formal introduction of him so some of you might understand why I'm so excited that he's here to give your commencement speech. We know that he's a visionary recording artist, he's a producer, he's a songwriter, he's a philanthropist, he's a fashion designer, he's an entrepreneur. And I know some of y'all heard that fashion as well, like and he has sort of taken the music industry by storm for more than 2 decades. PHarrell has helped create such classics as Get Lucky, Robin Thicke's Blurred Rumblings, Nelly, Hot in Here, Jay-Z, I Just Wanna Love You, and Britney Spears, I'm a Slave for You, as well as Justin Timberlake's Like I Love You. The music industry, now this is just deep, the music industry has honored PHarrell with 13 Grammy Awards. As ASCAP's prestigious Golden Note Award in 2012, he received a 2017 Academy Award nomination as one of the producers for Best Picture nomination, Hidden Figures. Did y'all see Hidden Figures? As well as a Golden Globe nomination for co-hosting the film. In 2014, his original song, Happy, featured in the animated film Despicable Me 2, also received an Academy Award nomination. In 2008, PHarrell founded From One Hand to Another, a foundation that provides over 1,700 children across the United States with summer camps focused on science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics and motivation. In addition to his musical and philanthropic endeavors, PHarrell narrated Universal's 2018 remake of the classic film The Grinch. He authored the book, A Fish Doesn't Know It's Wet, and released a new Netflix original series with his producing partner, Mimi Valdez, titled Brainchild. Not stopping there, PHarrell has excelled as a fashion designer with his Billionaire Boys Club, the ice cream apparel brand, the textile company Bionic Yarn. He's also worked with Adidas and Chanel. This past fall, he opened a restaurant and cocktail lounge called Swan and Bob Bevy in Miami's Design District. Most recently, this past April, PHarrell launched his first annual music, art, and cultural festival in his hometown, Virginia Beach, titled Something in the Water. The festival featured top artists, but it was designed to bring young people of color together and have a great time in a safe environment. And that was the whole point of that festival. As much as PHarrell has done in his life, that is not why, for me, he's a special person and a special friend. When we met, he had one burning motivation, which was to figure out how he could save more children growing up in conditions like he grew up in. And he wasn't just giving this lip service, he was really serious. He has a passion which matches my own for young people, and he plans to do some really terrific things to improve the academic performance of children in Virginia Beach and all of Virginia. So it's a great honor to welcome to this podium my good friend, PHarrell Williams.
I always get so nervous when they start reading off things that I've done. I get so embarrassed. So I gotta regain my composure. First of all, how are you, everybody? Guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen. First of all, thank you, faculty, staff, parents, and graduates. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you today. It's, of course, a huge honor, and this is an amazing, big day for you. You see, I've been watching these students. I've seriously been watching them. Seriously. Keeping tabs from afar at times, but I've been watching. Since befriending Mr. Canada, I've been blessed to get to know him, learn from him, and be, just like you guys, inspired by him. As I embark on my own pursuit of education reform, a necessary form of reparations, by the way, and much deserved, he has been a mentor and a collaborator. I cherish his mentorship and our collaboration. You are often the subject of our conversations, because I was so impressed when I saw the facility. It breaks my heart that it's not taking place in your actual building, because that building is like a mind-blowing experience that I wish I could experience when I was going to school. But learning from him means learning from you, because you guys and girls are the result. And it is an honor for me to be here with you today. So, I'm probably best known for collaborating with musicians to create songs, but the collaboration that I'm most excited about right now is my work with Mr. Canada in education. As I said to you guys earlier, like, no song could ever make me feel the way I feel standing in front of you right now. It has been proven time and time again that through the act of collaborating and bringing together the unexpected perspectives, that we are able to arrive at new solutions and outsized results. In many ways, our work together is not unlike my work with musicians, except Mr. Canada and the students, all of you, you are the song. And the class of 2019 sounds like, a monster hit to me. It does. It looks, sounds, and feels like one as I'm standing here. But I do have a question for the graduates. Does the class of 2019 know what it means to be self-aware? You see, right now I'm totally aware of the fact that I'm standing here between you and your diploma. It's like seriously, there's like nothing else standing in between you and your diploma. Like, when I stop talking, I'm pretty sure they're going to start handing out the papers. Right? So I'm aware that I'm delaying something that you would come. See, that's self-awareness. You've all been accepted into top colleges across the country, and now you're listening to me. That feeling of hurry up so I can get out of here, so, that you're feeling right now, I realize I'm causing that. That's self-awareness, right? But please don't take the idea of self-awareness lightly. It is the key to our collective success, actually. We're all on a journey of self-awareness. Some are beginners, and others are professional level self-aware. Like, really get it. Given your Harlem upbringing and your level of academic achievement and trajectory, you are all well on your way to being a pro. Self-awareness is a muscle that needs exercise. It needs regimen. On the lowest end of the scale, you have those who are like failing miserably. This is not good for them. Okay? Their lack of their own self-awareness breeds racism, bigotry, bias, bullying, and the inevitable backsliding into the days of old. That is not true. The opposite end of that scale is very different. The high end of the scale is filled with selflessness. Let me say it right, selflessness, empathy, and of course, the empowering goodwill. This should be our goal. And like I said, you guys are well on your way. But while the low end of the scale is the problem, it's the middle of the scale that scares me the most. Because in the middle, somewhere between racism and bigotry and utopian selflessness, is the status quo, that middle space. And if you haven't noticed, the status quo isn't working. It's just not working. It never has. Ask your mom or your dad, your grandparents, your aunts, uncles. The middle is not the place for us. The status quo, the middle. They say, yes, I'm aware of this problem, but it's not on me to fix it. You know what I mean by that? You know, it's not my problem, right? The status quo says, I see another person being discriminated against, but that's not me. Is that cool? The status quo says, I see she is getting paid less than him, but that's somebody else's problem to fix. Is that cool? In 2019. Was it okay in 2000? Can you believe that we're still here? It's not okay. The status quo says, oh, it's awful that immigrants are being kept in cages, but we'll fix that with the next election. Is that okay? No. Do we like that middle ground? No. The status quo says, it's okay if that gun law doesn't pass. Nobody will ever shoot up my school. It's funny because that's what all of the girls and the boys say when they're being interviewed after their school got shut up, that they never thought it would happen there. Status quo is wrong, and so is the middle. The status quo says, I know not everyone can have an education as great as mine. Is that cool? Okay. So I'm here to tell you that the status quo in the middle is a tool designed to slow down, or even worse, reverse progress. And the worst part of all is people in the middle, and we don't want to demonize, but we just want to educate them that that's not the place to be. Pick a side and come on our side. People in the middle know what is right. They have enough self-awareness to know what is right, but they're not self-aware enough to know, enough to see that the perils of their lack of action is the problem. They're not self-aware enough to see the opportunity to break free from the status quo, the middle ground, and improve life for themselves and essentially everyone else. So I'm saying all 114 of you are agents of progress, not the status quo, not the middle. You have to rise above, and you have to pounce on opportunities. We are relying on you. You all are agents of progress. Agents of progress understand the world around them, and they take action to right the wrongs. Agents of progress can see when our beautiful and pure childhood friendships start to fade, and then act to dismantle the news feeds that often divide us. Because I'll say this, I've said it before, algorithms have no conscience, okay? So, they're asking you to put your phones away. That's for your education, but when you're pulling them back out, you make sure you have that conversation with yourself to remind yourself that sometimes these news feeds, please don't move on, I just want to say this, that sometimes these news feeds and these algorithms are pushing you further into a direction that might not be what you think or feel. So know that these algorithms don't have a conscience. You do. Okay? Agents of progress acknowledge that the algorithms designed to make sure that we become addicted to our phones and technology often mislead, demotivate, and uninspire us all. That phone that you love, you need to make it work for you. Because if you're not focused on making it work for you, then assume that it is working for someone else. You know how in the subways they have those signs that say, if you see something, alright, if you see the status quo around you creeping into your lives, say something. Call it out. Shine a light on it. But most importantly, do something about it. Okay? It's one thing to be woke and have the knowledge. It's another thing to be awake and to be actively engaged, leaned in, and doing something about what's wrong. Your generation is the most awake generation ever. And I even, I say, it's cool to be woke, but be up. You know how it's time to get up in the morning, you don't want to be late for school, and you're like, I'm awake. No, it's a difference when you go out of your room and say, Mom, no, I'm up. We need you to be up. And that comes as no surprise to me, because this is Harlem, okay? This is Harlem. I know it, and I can see it now, and history will confirm it. But we are in the midst of another Harlem Renaissance. The eyes of art, music, and fashion are once again looking at Harlem to take the world to new heights. Dapper Dan is finally getting his shine. A whole lot of guys who are my friends, who go by the name of ASAP, are returning to put the world on the map again. The world is watching Harlem, but this Renaissance will be different. And believe it or not, with respect, it's going to actually be better. And the reason why is because the new Harlem Renaissance has education at its core. He's been steering us to this moment for decades. If it wasn't for Mr. Canada's engagement and willingness to lean in, we would not have been gathered here today with 100% graduation. So when we head off to college or to the workforce or whatever is next for you, promise me, like the school, I had to, that you'll spend as much time in the mental gym as the physical one. Think about that. Working out that self-awareness muscle on a path to empathy, and like I said to you guys, most importantly, the goodwill. Stay hyper-focused and aware of the world and your role in it. And then work to improve the world for you and others. That's it. It's that simple. But before I go today, there's one more thing I have to share. Things are about to get very busy for you. You beautiful human beings, my beautiful diaspora, my beautiful DNA. You're transitioning into what's next and and for some, that means summer school or prepping for your first year. So I get it. You're busy. But like Mr. Canada helped even the odds to make sure you received an education that rivaled the education of some of the most privileged people out there, I'm going to help even the odds when it comes to internships. Also the domain of the privilege, but not anymore. So to speed up your journey of self-awareness and enlightenment, I want to make sure that all of you, every single one of you, have access to an A-list internship next summer. First year of school, internships for and to the 2019 graduates of Promise Academy 1 and 2. I'm so excited to say it, but then like your energy was so amazing, like I just couldn't interrupt that. So let me be clear. Every member of the 2019 graduating class is guaranteed an internship waiting for them next summer. Just ask one thing. At the end of that summer internship, I don't only want to hear about the position that you'll add to your, excuse me. I don't only want to hear about the position that you'll add to your resume. I want to know that you became aware of yourself and your place in this world. I want you to tell me and tell the world and tell Harlem what it is that you'll set out to change. And I'm not going to lie, part of me wonders who will benefit most from these internships. You, the awake agents of progress, or the companies that you'll serve next time. Me personally, I'm always going to bet on you, just like Mr. Campbell. Thank you to the staff, thank you to the faculty, thank you to the... Please stand up and make some noise for these parents. My hometown of Virginia Beach thanks you as well, because this is the example, this is the result, this is the proof that I'm taking back for us to go back and do this back home. So trust me, they thank you too. And thank you, of course, to the amazing, living, breathing result called, or that is known as the class of 2019. Me and my extended team, we are looking forward to seeing all of you guys next summer, guys and girls. And please have a great freshman year. And once again, man, thank you so much for